On radio, on YouTube, and on your smartphone, this is Tutor Speaks. We invite all listeners to tune into I-95.5 every Thursday morning at approximately 7:25 for Tutor Speaks, a program which highlights local, regional, and international issues affecting the education sector. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Tutor Speaks. I'm your presenter, Barry Joel Desaine. Exactly 24 years ago today, the world's most prestigious aircraft crashed into a hotel in Paris, killing everyone on board. With a near spotless safety record in its 30-year history, the Concorde flight en route from Paris to New York ended in disaster merely 121 seconds after it took off. What exactly happened? In today's segment, a problem identification approach will be used to identify the antecedent cause of this overwhelming catastrophe. Whether we are speaking of a man-made disaster, the state of the economy, the crime situation, or the education sector, before a problem can be solved, it must first be clearly identified. Unfortunately, there is a tendency to oversimplify problems, many of which are very complex in reality. As a result, solutions put forward by leaders are often superficial, treating symptoms rather than the antecedent or root cause of these problems. Social problems can be particularly challenging to analyze, as root causes are sometimes so far back in history that they are long forgotten. An effective method for identifying the antecedent cause of a problem is to repeatedly ask the question why until it is no longer viable to ask it. The crash of the Concorde will be used as an example of how this method is used to get to the root cause of a problem. So why did Concorde Flight 4590 crash into a Parisian hotel? The most basic on-the-surface answer is that it was simply flying far too slow to maintain altitude. This, of course, was not the root cause of the disaster. It is but the final effect of a chain of precursor factors. Many more why questions are needed to discover the antecedent cause. Why was the flight speed so slow? The flight speed was slow for two reasons. The aircraft was too heavy, and the landing gear was also stuck. So were these the root cause of the crash? Not quite. Two other why questions are needed. Firstly, why was the aircraft heavy? Investigations revealed that it was heavy for two reasons. One, there was excess baggage, and two, there was too much fuel in the tank. However, experts say that the Concorde was capable of easily handling this excess weight. It was therefore not the antecedent cause of the crash. Why was the landing gear stuck? The landing gear was stuck because the plane was on fire. Naturally, one must now ask, why was the plane on fire? The plane was on fire because one of the fuel tanks blew open, resulting in fuel leakage which caught fire from exposed electrical wiring. So why did this fuel tank blow open? It blew open because there was a buildup of pressure in the tank. Why was there a buildup of pressure in the tank? Because the tank was wobbling. Why was the tank wobbling? Because it was hit very hard by pieces of a blown tire which also damaged and exposed some electrical wiring. Perhaps by now you are thinking, aha, it was a blown tire that was the root cause of the crash. Indeed, the official cause of the crash was given as the destruction of the tire, the resulting ripping out of a large piece of tank, and the ignition of the leaking fuel by an electrical arc in the landing gear. However, using further why questions yield even greater insight. Why did the tire blow? It blew because there was a piece of metal on the runway. Why was there a piece of metal on the runway? Investigations revealed that the metal fell out from a Continental Airlines DC-10 aircraft that had used the same runway just 5 minutes earlier. Why did the metal fall out of the plane? It was later found that the metal fell out because of negligent maintenance practices on the part of Continental Airlines. Dr. Hollis Green, Chancellor at Oasis Institute of Higher Learning, often says that problems are not complicated, but they are sophisticated. He explains that what we sometimes perceive as complicated is usually the conglomeration of simpler problems into complex ones. Of the 6 interrogatives, why is the most important question for reducing complex problems into simpler parts and ultimately determining antecedent cause. Identifying and addressing these simpler problems is the key to finding long-term solutions. In closing, when faced with challenges, consider using this method for determining root cause and for discovering the simpler parts that can more readily be addressed. Remember that problems are not complicated, they are sophisticated. You have been listening to Tutor Speaks. To contact us, please dial 610-3850. That's 610-3850. Or you may email our president at president@tutor.org. That's president@ttuta.org. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel where recordings of interviews, events, and other materials are uploaded regularly. Like us by giving a thumbs up, hit the notification bell, and subscribe.